Yesterday was quite a short vlog, obviously, but you know when you're an adult? You know when you've like reached that time in your life where you're like, I'm old now, right? Is when you're excited for Andrew Marr to be disrupted by a new delivery, and that new delivery is a new hoover boy, well, a new vacuum cleaner boy. We don't even need a vacuum cleaner. We've got one in the flat already, but we're excited about this, boys. It's one of them, the handheld ones. Can use it to vacuum the car and the house. It's gonna be dope. We've been putting off the hoovering in anticipation. You know what this right here reminds me of? It's a bit like, do you remember when you used to get like a Game Boy for Christmas? But it was the kind of Game Boy you couldn't play when it was still charging. That's what this feels like right now. Remember that? When the first Game Boy came out, not the first Game Boy, but the first Game Boy came out that you could play while it was charging. That was revolutionary shit. Whereas yesterday we had a relatively chilled out day. I did a little bit of work for work because we're coming up to the end of the sprint and we're getting close to the line of missing it, which is kind of annoying. But someone else looked at it while I was out last night and has managed to fix my problem. I had this issue where like I could turn off all of the validators and this thing would still be invalid, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Something to do with the pipeline was registering it a different way and then triggering it a different way, which was annoying, but he managed to spot that, fix it for me. Diamond, so now I just need to have the mother of all rebases. It's going to be the worst. I'm not looking forward to it at all. Otherwise, I noticed on my own project that the reason that my thing doesn't work isn't because the thing is broken, is because the entire authentication for my front end doesn't work properly. It authenticates you, but it doesn't carry over any of your information. So I can see that I'm logged in and it's me, personally, but it doesn't have the role that I'm in or anything like that. All of that information is just not propagated out to the client, which is confusing because it's propagated to the API resources but not the clients. So I'm trying to figure out what that issue is there as well. Otherwise, we didn't really do much yesterday. We went out shopping as well. Laura was looking for some stuff and we ordered our hoover, Dyson, which has come today. Which is actually, I was really surprised that it did next day delivery before 12 o'clock. You could guarantee like a time slot, next day delivery for free, and I'm like, phew, that's pretty good shit. Last night we went out for a nice posh meal, which actually I wouldn't go back, but it was alright. It was a good experience. But we always do like a kind of like blowout Valentines / birthday meal, which is always good fun. Which has meant that I've slept in again today. I'm trying to figure out if I can do some kind of hybrid between the sleep pattern at the weekend, the sleep pattern during the week, and then at the weekend just kind of try and wake up early. So try and wake up at like 6:30 instead of 2 and 6:30. You know what I mean? But I don't know whether or not that's detrimental, because every weekend I lose out, and next weekend we're doing things as well, which means that it might be difficult to carry on doing it, but we'll find out. It's kind of awkward having the middle of the day nap at the weekend is the problem. Or you can't do things in the evening because then your nap's too close to having to leave. But yeah, so today we are waiting for our hoover so that we can hoover. Because it says you've got to fully charge it before you can use it for the first night. I am going to make sure that this code is ready to rebase. I'm not going to rebase it until I get to work, because I want to have as many computer monitors as possible. It's going to be one of them rebases where it's going to be like, hey, I tried to rebase this thing for you, and I'm like, fuck no, I'm doing it manually. So it's going to be a manual merge process, which is going to be a bitch, because it's all like HTML and stuff. It's all been shifted around and classes have been added to things that weren't there before and all that stuff. It's going to be hellish. Make sure I'm basically ready to do the PR and rebase tomorrow. That's the plan of attack. And then I'm going to sort out my authentication on this, and we're going to go clean the car, because it's due a service. It's getting service next week, and I can't take it to the garage. It's filthy, can I? It's charged. Alright then, car. You is filthy. You is time to get clean. Look how like filthy the back is, look. Every time you, this bit here, look, it's clean where you have to use your hands to open the boot. Where's my finger? There. I mean, look at that, man. It's filthy, isn't it? That is a blurry, but much better. That's what colour alloys are supposed to be. And look, you can now see actual reflections in the boot. It was a full 45 minutes stood in the cold though. God damn, is it warm in this flat. Jesus. Oh, God. 45 minutes in the cold. This dickhead BMW guy bumped in the queue in front of me. I usually begrudge washing the car over winter, but it's due a service, and you can't give it to the mechanic looking like it looked. So, I've now got to avoid going the horrible ways into Bath, because like, one of the ways is just filthy. So I avoid doing that to try and keep it clean for the week, and then we'll get it back dirty again. To be honest, oh God, it's just started raining. Blimey. I was about to say, for kind of the same reason I'm thinking about swapping my longboard wheels, it is actually a good time to clean it, because it's now no longer as dirty as it used to be. Hopefully, it's like kind of like the salts they put on the road that make your car filthy, and all big puddles that you go through, and all that malarkey. Anyway, so let's have a look at this. I'm not allowed to use it yet because Laura wants to be here when we first use it. But let me show you this. We've been wanting to buy a Dyson for ages. We've obviously got a hoover in the flat, so we took advantage of a good offer we managed to get a hold of. Basically, we're going to need it for when we buy a house. So that's the plan. So it comes on this little like wall mount. So in theory, in a flat, when we have a house, we'll put it permanently on the wall like that, in somewhere. That'll be cool. Yeah, it's the V8 one, which is the most powerful handheld one they do that isn't like a full-on upright jobber. And it's pretty dope, man. It's pretty dope. It's remarkably not heavy. Like, I can hold it out at arm's length with only a minor amount of wobble on my weak hand. And then you just kind of press the button, press the trigger button, and it does it. So you've got, there's high suction and max suction modes. What we've discovered is, when they say like you've got 40 minutes of battery life, if that is caveated with, if you use one of these two tools here, if you use that one, you get like 30 minutes. If you use this one, you get like 25. And I think that one's even less. If you put it in max mode, you get 7 minutes of battery. Holy shit. I just feel like a bit of a boss, you know? God damn. So what I do really like is it doesn't matter what you put in it. So you could just like smash this thing on the end of it. Look. Hit. One-handed. Bang. And just do it like that. And just go friggin' buck wild, hoovering stuff. In fact, don't tell Laura I did this, but if you go like this. Oh, mate, look at that. But also, look, you can go like that as well. Oh, yeah, boy. God, we're old. Let's very briefly put it in max mode and see what that's like. Holy shit. Yeah, I was kind of impressed that like every nozzle fits into every like little crevice hole. You know what I mean? Like our other hoover, you have to put them in like a certain order. You couldn't just smash this on the end of it and it'd be fine. I got busted because I didn't even hoover for much and it still picked up some dust, for fuck's sake. That's dope. That's pretty dope, man. We're fans of that. Otherwise, I was looking at, I remember me saying earlier that well, I was struggling with some validation stuff yesterday, and then someone at work managed to help me out with it. Turns out that the way that they worked it out was by turning off the validation, so it like just regressed a load of validation, which was a pain in the arse. So I was like back to square one, spent a good amount of time trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. And I know for a fact that when I put this into PR, what I've done basically is I've turned off the like default, well I've not turned it off, I'm ignoring the default validation, I'm then manually calling the validator to do the validation work, and then adding all that validation back onto the model state. And I know full well that it's going to go through PR, and somebody, probably watching, is going to be like, why did you do that? And I'm telling you, right here, right now, if you, this is going to be after the fact that you've watched this video, but if you have if you can do the PR, finish PR, I'll put it into test. If you can figure out why that was happening before that story passes test, I'll give you a $5. That's some bullshit. Also, I've made it easy for him as well, because I've squashed the commits, so it literally goes, implement the story, try and debug this thing, thingy's fix, my fix, finish the story. So you could literally like go back in the history and see what's going on. I've got the rebase and stuff to do tomorrow. I wasn't going to do it today because it's going to be a bastard. I need more screen real estate to do it in. Yeah, so that's the fun there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm enjoying myself there. What else is going on? Otherwise, watching this program called Kiri. I would just start watching it, but it's in Bristol, and it's really frustrating because you watch it and you're like, oh, I recognise that place, recognise that place, recognise the place. That's not frustrating. What is frustrating is when you see them talking in the car, and you see outside the window, it's the same road, but they keep changing direction. They keep driving up the road, having the conversation. Drive down the road, up the road, down the road. You're like, God damn, this is really off-putting. Otherwise, it's looking like a good program. I think we've actually been really struggling to like, I've been struggling to find a program that I really want to watch. You know what I mean? Like a binge-worthy program. So, if anyone's got any recommendations, I'm happy to hear them. Right. We've got everything we need to go back to work tomorrow. I've done all the ironing, done everything else. Are we getting up early? Yeah, I think we're getting up early. 2 o'clock. just had a chance to fight through my not validation problem, authentication problem, but I didn't have time, so because I was looking at the other problem. Happy days. I discovered this way out of the park and ride, which is like, when it's frozen, is not too wet for the board, and it is, even though it's a lot slower than going the road, so much fucking fun, because it like drifts. The back wheels just kind of drift along. It's so cool. Yeah, look, wait. Oh gosh, oh gosh. It's a bit too cold, I'm slipping. All about the momentum, boys, all about the momentum. Whoop, 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 hey. My bag got caught on a branch there, that's why I had to stop. Jolly good fun, ladies and gentlemen. Also managed to make it back. I was only expecting to go halfway today, but managed to make it back. It was kind of one of the things where it rained. I was on the way to the bus, and I'm like, it probably is dry enough, because I don't go fast anymore, so just going slow, it's probably dry enough. And then as I got to the path by the river, which is normally wetter than the roads, bone dry. And I'm like, the fuck? Fast mode, go. Because there was a cyclist, and I like making fun of cyclists. It was a relatively quiet day in the office, but productive, because we managed to finish off nearly everything in our sprint. We've got one more thing to do, which we've got a PR for. We've just got to, I think it's going into test tomorrow, and it's the end of the sprint tomorrow. So we've flown through. It's a good job, but we managed to do all the work I was doing at the weekend. Brought it over the line, did a jolly good job there. And then otherwise, came back, usual Monday shopping fun. It's been a party in the park. What else has been going on? But not anything. It's been a bit of a dull day, to be honest with you, but it's been good fun. It's time to go to bed. We need to find somewhere to put this, though. So it's raining over the next couple of days, so the longboard is going to go away, even though tomorrow I should be getting a new remote if it gets delivered and I don't have to be here for it. Hopefully I don't have to be here. What else was I going to tell you? Otherwise, I've been fighting through the authentication problems I'm having with my project. It's an absolute bastard. I was up this morning trying to figure it out. Basically, it's just not. It's not working. I don't understand why. I'm thinking I may change the way that I'm doing it, at least on the presentation web. The claims transformation seems to work fine on the back end. It doesn't seem to work very well for the front end. So I don't understand why either. It's just a pain in the arse. So I'm thinking about just changing it and going to policy-based instead of claims-based authentication, because I can do that. It's the claims transformation middleware that's not working, because it's checking whether or not you're authenticated, and even though you are authenticated, you're not authenticated, and I don't understand why. And it won't tell me. No, I do understand why. Might be something to do with data protection, but I will investigate in the morning when I've woken up. Let's go to bed. The rain is determined to dirty up my car. Programming news though, I had a productive evening. I fixed my authentication issue and started making my webpage look good. I was trying to like introduce things like semantic UI, which is what I'm using to make it look pretty, and Vue.js early, sooner rather than later. As I started to do that, and then realised just how fucking heavy it is, so I might extract it out to a separate project and then host it on like a CDN in a similar way we do at work. I thought we did that for mainly performance reasons, but just due to the fucking weight of it and deploying that around my service fabric, it'd be a right pain in the ass. I'm going to strip it out, put it somewhere else, host it separately, and then I can just reference it externally. To be honest, I thought it would have been alright all in one project, and then I wrote down on my to-do list, fix sticky footer, then copy configuration to other web pages. So on my site I have a security site for my identity server. I then have the secure portal and a public facing website. And I have to duplicate all of that trash NPM garbage and CSS and stuff across all three of them and update it in all three of them if I ever update it, and I'm like, no, you're being stupid, bro. So to be honest, I've never ever stripped up a website before and actually made it look good, ever. So I was kind of learning new stuff. I was using a lot of the .NET CLI to automatically generate me things and then see what was needed and then lift it across into my project instead. But yeah, so I'm spinning it all up and I'm like, fuck, okay, there's a lot of stuff there. There's a lot. I knew it was semi-big. And yeah, so a combination of sharing it across multiple projects and then also deploying it multiple times to multiple instances in Service Fabric. I was like, nah, CDN is the only way. It doesn't have to be a CDN. CDNs are actually quite expensive. I could just host it as like a single web project, just maybe not in VC, and then host it like that. I could do that, so I might do that. And then to be fair, you can host that in Service Fabric. Oh no, back to squirrel. Yeah, so I'm going to move all of the CSS, all of the JavaScript, well, most of the JavaScript, any Vue stuff stays within the project, and all of that goes into a separate instance web project, which can then be referenced across all of my other ones. And what I've accidentally done is started doing UI stuff, which is which I kind of promised myself I wouldn't do, but I'm just doing it to the point where it looks all right, and then if I need to edit it in the future, I can, slash I will. It's actually at the point where it's starting to look like a real thing, a little bit. Like I say, I don't want to faddle over it too much, just make it look like a functioning site, basically. Something's telling me Laura was in a bit of a rush this morning. I come back on the bus with someone else when we get the bus to that park and ride, so I didn't talk to you then, but I've just got a delivery. I need to head out to the shop for a shameful reason, but I know what's in this delivery, and I'm going to try and open it up quick and see if I can set it up. We'll talk about it a little bit more later, because I need to try it out fast, but this is the new Evolve remote. First impression, that light is bloody bright. Right, okay, let's go. Interesting, I have thoughts. Don't judge me, but time for a nap. Look, what did I say about judging me? I don't get much opportunity to leave the office during the day when I'm napping at lunch. That's my problem. I had to blast up to the shop to go get that card before Laura got back, and she's going to be late back tonight, so all's good on the hood. But let's have a look at this remote. It's charging. But let's have a look at this, because this is fascinating. This kind of touches on a couple of the things that I didn't like about the old remote, the GT remote. So the annoying thing about this was the fact that it's not connected to the board. The battery was a percentage. So it was basically showing a weird idea of the battery state, because it was based on the current draw of the battery, which to me is like estimated range and doesn't really work as a state, you know what I mean? That is no longer the case on this one. It's not a battery percentage, so you don't fret about it just dropping all of a sudden. It's a bar. I don't know how I feel about that yet. It's because there's no number, and I'm the kind of person who if I have the battery indicator on my phone, I want the fucking number. I want to see exactly how many percentage I've got. So we'll see how that goes. But what that remote does have is the battery indicator for the actual remote. That's important. The other two things I didn't like about this in particular was the fact that if it's in your hand, that's the natural way to hold it. Like, that's not natural, that's natural. So one, you can press these buttons, but then you can't see the screen. That seems a bit dumb to me. And then finally, the trigger. Now the trigger's really good. You push it away to brake, put it down toward thingy. The problem is in quick modes, it's quite juicy. Like the difference between that and that in GT is fast, you know? I think they say like the acceleration curve. In fact, I wonder what will happen if I turn the board on. Are they both like, is the board able to connect to both remotes, is my question. Is it the remote that connects to the board, or is it the board that connects to the remote? Because I might be able to just connect this up and show you what I mean by that. Oh, and that's what I mean about the percentage as well. So if you lift up the board and then just smash the accelerator, in theory, the percentage would start to drop for no apparent reason, but it didn't. So the growth. Otherwise, this is good. All of those are really minor niggles. The only problem with the lack of throw is if it's cold and your finger starts to twitch, then because you've got to basically have. That's why I have fingerless gloves. So my finger can fit in there, and I can feel like I'm in control. Your finger twitches, and then you just start like accidentally accelerating if you're in a quick mode. I often, actually, the acceleration is so aggressive in GT, I hardly ever use GT. I'm nearly always in fast, unless I'm already at speed, and I want, for some reason, extra juice, even though fast and GT technically hit the same speed. But once you're faster, you can deal with acceleration quicker, because it's all about like momentum and stuff. The purposes of this, because it's charging, I'm going to have to get my battery pack out so I'm not like kneecapped by the window. God damn, by the charger. So this is the other remote, which is currently on charge. Like I say, I've actually moved to the floor because it's close. So initially, off the bat, you can see the screen at all time. That is insanely good. I kind of realised how little I looked at the screen, and I can see the screen much better. Obviously, you don't stare at the screen because you're driving or whatever. But that dope. You will notice that at the top there is like a board which shows the battery of the board, and then there is a indicator for the remote, which the other one didn't have. And actually, there's been a couple of times where I've started a not all the way to Bath, but I've started a journey and run out. Well, it started flashing at me, warning, use small battery, lol. So that should happen less in theory because we've got the jobber. But the key differences then is the fact that it's now kind of a trigger. So instead of a little thing, a little analog stick that you move, it's kind of a trigger, which I'm hoping means I can wear proper full-size gloves, maybe even mittens, and then my hand doesn't get as cold when I'm using it. That is a massive win. Also, there's a shit ton more throw in this than there was in the other boards. I select GT here, and then lift up the board. Wait, hang on, let's get this in frame. And then, you see that? Look. That, it doesn't really start to move until about there. So, there you go, look. There's actually like a marked, that is a lot different. And that's a lot good. Obviously GT is designed for sport. And then that's how quick it is. So GT is actually usable, is basically what that means. I used it on the way up to the shop. It makes sense. It's nice. You can control the acceleration a lot better. So yeah, that's the differences that it's managed to fix up. The one thing I'm not sure about is the brake. So the brake is going to be difficult to show you because it's on oh no, there's two things. Right, two things I'm not sure about. The brake, which is now on the top. So instead of flicking the remote the other way, you push that down. And the same thing applies, as in that the further you pull it, the more it accelerates. That the further you push it, the more it brakes. It's going to take some getting used to, because previously you could just like bang it forward and you'd be braking. That you've got to press that quite far before it starts to engage. And also, obviously, it's on a different control. So it's going to take some getting used to. I'll get back. The other thing I'm not sure about is this. So you'll notice that that's a dead man switch. Previously, the other one doesn't have a dead man switch, which is a pain in the arse if you're not holding the remote. Because if you're carrying the board and you want to do something else, like buzz into the door at work, for example, and you're holding the other remote and you accidentally hit the trigger, it just spins the wheels. This, without the button being pressed, it doesn't do shit. Another thing it does, which is quite nice, is as you change modes, it vibrates, which is going to be really useful. I'm just going to put it down to basic mode to just show you something. So, if I press the button, it will now start to accelerate. So that is slow mode, 30 miles an hour because there's no weight on the board. Actually, that's quite quick. So look, in theory, as it's running, you could let go of the dead man switch and do whatever you want with it. You can speed up, you can let go of it. As long as it doesn't hit 0, you can continue to do that. But as soon as it hits 0, it won't accelerate until the dead man switch is on again. It has its uses, but feels unnatural at the moment. Hopefully I'll get used to that. Cool. Anything else that's changed? I think that's it. So yeah, new remote. They released it for like a cheaper price. It was like half price for when they first released it. And I was like, I need that board. Laura's just left work, so actually I will have a little play. I'll go out and meet her. She's running back. So I don't know how long it's going to take me to get back home again. But I'll have a little play with it out on the road again. But yeah, it also feels a bit chunkier than this did. But obviously it is a bit chunkier, so there's that. Cool. There we go, look. I'm just cruising along. It's nice and easy. It's a little bit wet out, so I'm not going crazy fast, but being able to just see the remote like that is so good. Maybe it's a lot more ambidextrous as well, but I'll try that on the way up when I'm going slow with Laura. She's running as well, by the way, so it's going to be adding salt to the wound. So something I've noticed is, well, if it's moving at all, you don't need to press a dead man switch, but the brake, because I'm like trying to accelerate and then brake again, it's like it doesn't want to stop it, is what I've noticed. Like if you press it really hard, like it gets to there and see, I'm still rolling. It doesn't really want to put it to a stop anymore, which the other one did. Worth noting, but also, yeah, look, if I don't press the dead man switch and then just start to roll, it will take. So there's that. So maybe I'll keep the dead man switch engaged all the time and it'll either encourage me to press it to accelerate or to push. And I should push a little bit more because it's better for the battery. There we go. I can get used to that. I'm going to try and train myself to left-handed longboard now. Turns out earlier I filmed a chunk and it turned out into a photo. And I was showing you the sensitivity on the old remote, but too late to show you now. Not really doing Valentine's Day this year, but Laura really likes. Look, Dad bought Laura some coconut Toblerone for Christmas. She didn't know it existed, and she loves it. And that's the only thing she's like, if you want to get me anything for Valentine's Day, can I please have some of it? So thing is, it's really difficult to source. You can only buy it from like Amazon. You can literally only buy it from Amazon. I need to go to bed, which is why I'm in my pyjamas. So I got Toblerone and a card. Toblerone. 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 And Toblerone. That should keep her happy. It'll be a bit of a fun game to play in the morning. Anyway, I say the morning. I'm waking up at 5 past, so I need to get to bed and go to sleep quickly. Another day of heavy rain later, so I can't play around with my longboard remote, but the bus has just arrived. To be fair with this way, it is faster to drive here and get back. It just obviously means getting the bus. Progress, I have myself my a thing that's hosting my assets and my things like my CSS and my JavaScript and all that trash. So that's all being sorted now. All I need to do is remove my old stuff, because I originally put it into my web project. Remove it from there, host it specifically in there. I need to do my builds and make sure my automated builds and whatnot are all set up as well. I just need to make it look pretty, and then sort out the view. View is the one thing I haven't integrated yet. Although I think I've got it, I just haven't initialized it and used it, so I haven't proved that I've got it. So that's the plan there. Otherwise, today, new sprint, new me. Planning today, so joy. Stressed down day today, and I've got my super slinky skinny jeans on. They are not very warm. They're actually really cold because they're so stretchy and so tight. But yeah, it's dress down day for charity and whatnot. So I did actually put my shirt and trousers today. And I was like, "What you doing, Jimmy? Get changed, boy." Here's that rain that made me not take the longboard. Planned for a pretty scary, daunting piece of work, and it's going to be a very interesting sprint. It's the kind of thing where the sprint is basically delivering one big thing, and then there's one of us, hello, is then responsible for trying to churn out slightly smaller things. So it looks like we haven't done anything. Otherwise, I've been in between meetings on UI stuff, so it's been relatively slow progress because I'm not great at UI stuff, but tomorrow I should clear that. I've just got to make it a bit more interactive and maybe fix 2 styling issues, and then smash through the back end stuff. As soon as I'm in the back end, I should just sail. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. She's doing a, I think it's called like a mediation, where they're at work, where she's kind of, it's like a pre-court thing, where she's at that, and it's 10 past 9 and they've just gone out to go get some Dominoes. Because they haven't come to a decision yet. I have only just finished eating dinner and, well, making my sandwiches that I've sorted out. We did buy chicken from a shop before, just like pre-cooked, but now we're trying out making our own. So like we bought chicken breasts and then we basically just season it and then fry it. And we're trying that out. Obviously the problem is it takes a while for it to dry, you know, like, 'cause it's a bit like oily. It needs to like fully cool down. And I'm like, should I put it in the fridge to cool down? Or, in fact, I'm going to do that, and I'll make my sandwiches tomorrow morning. But yeah, so we get like chicken breast, and then we season it with salt, pepper, 5-spice, Chinese 5-spice, which is the curveball there. Smoked paprika, which is my super secret sauce. If you ever want to make anything taste better, put smoked paprika in it. Some of this, which is Szechuan pepper, chili, and ginger salt. And finally, cayenne pepper. And otherwise, the reason it's like 10 past 9 is because I think this is what happened. I still don't know for certain. Well, I think I went to bed, came home, I missed my lunchtime nap today because I was trying to organise some stuff for Dad over lunch. So I came home, had my half-hour nap, and then I believe I woke up and then tricked myself into thinking that I've only just gone to bed and then I should have another extra 30 minutes. And then, because I went to bed a second time, yeah, I think I woke up and my alarm was going off. And I'm like, it shouldn't be going off, bruh. Yeah, so I think I then slept for another period of time after, but not necessarily oh no, it was 30 minutes, because I reset a timer again. But, god damn it. It happens every now and again where I kind of, like I say, kind of trick myself into thinking I should sleep a bit more. And normally Laura's around, obviously, to be like, yo, dinner's ready. Bitch, wake your booty ass up and then come and get some food. But yeah, so I'm running a little bit late. Otherwise, I've about like an hour or so until Laura might be coming back. So I might go and do some programming. I need to strip out all the things that I've now moved into a separate like CDN project thing. So I'm hosting all of my CSS, JavaScript, all that trash in a separate entity. Now I can strip it all out of my website. That's what I'm going to do. Sounds like a plan. I caught Windows doing an update earlier, and it did like a full restart. And the thing is, it's just turned back on and tried to pretend that it hadn't. And it's tried to be like, bruh, I'm exactly how you left me. See, I have your emails open. I have a couple of instances of Chrome open. Granted, they're all empty. There's no tab context or anything like that. And then it's opened up, it's spun up 5 versions of Visual Studio. And they're all just on the start page. And the reason it can't do half this stuff is because my Service Fabric cluster's shut down. Like, just be honest about the fact that you freaking restarted, man. Don't try and pretend otherwise. By the way, it just occurred to me that I never showed you whether or not these worked with mittens. And the answer is no. But only because mittens are a bit stupid. Like, I can't press this button here and that at the same time. I've no confidence I could do that without killing myself, basically, is what I'm saying. But if you're a normal person that didn't have mittens like me, you could use like chunkier gloves. You don't have to have fingerless gloves. But I don't have any gloves. Do I have any? I literally don't think I've got any gloves because I'm a mitten man. Damn, I'm actually going to go to bed before Laura gets back. That's insane. Otherwise, everything's going well here. I'm having some minor issues getting the build running because semantic UI is kind of fucking around with me a bit. I think it's like installing with default settings and not my manual configuration, which is bizarre. Because it has my manual configuration, it's just not using it. I'm trying to figure out how to drive that down, basically. But everything's running, it's just a case of getting the build server up and running so that I've got a nice continuous integration and all that kind of good stuff. I have, my front end is looking relatively slick. I just need to add in view. But I can, what I'll probably do is create the next page, and then the next page will use view. So I'll smash it on there. But like I say, I think it's there, and I'm just gonna wait until I need it. That's my plan. Instead of fucking around with putting it in ATM. Whew. Anyway, it's 5 to 11. It's late. I'm gonna go to bed. God damn it. Right. Oh, gosh, I'm going to end this video here as well because it's been a bit of a long video. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Been a bit of a odd one, oddballer. What we're going to call this one, don't no idea. But yeah, come back tomorrow, boys. I'll catch you later. You know what I mean, by the way, it's tomorrow for me. It's not tomorrow for you.